The UN chief has warned that many parts of the world are drifting far away from democracy. Antonio Guterres says he's deeply worried by the risks facing societies. He also raised concerns about how technology and social media are leading to the distortion of facts.
Populism, nativism, white supremacy and other forms of racism and extremism are poisoning social cohesion. Polarization is undermining democratic institutions. Science and reason are under siege. All of this is eroding trust between people and democratic leaders and institutions.
More than 100 world leaders are gathering online this hour as Joe Biden's Summit for Democracy wraps up. The White House has billed the summit as Washington's attempt to take the lead in the fight against authoritarianism.
The United States.
And Nick Harper joins us live. Nick, assuming one can even sketch out any sense of a target in a two-day virtual summit, is there a sense the Biden administration has achieved what it might have wanted to get from this summit?
Well, the White House would certainly say so. The big thing that Joe Biden wanted to do was really try and shine a spotlight on democracy all around the world, to look at the problems that it is facing and look at how it is being eroded. Gathering together more than 100 countries and speaking openly about this subject has certainly achieved that. We're told that during this second day of the summit, there's a few areas in particular the president wants to focus on, in particular election integrity, standing up to authoritarian regimes and upholding independent media. It's also allowed the US president to try and put the US at the centre of the stage globally. He wanted to try and return the US to that role of a leader around the world, to try and move away from Donald Trump's America First policies and try and embrace more of that multicultural, multilateral aspect that the US has been known for in the past. He's also tried to get pledges. The US put forward a pledge of about $420 million that they want to put forward to helping democracy and upholding freedom of the press, for example. But I guess what it hasn't achieved is trying to de-escalate the situations around the world that Joe Biden has been working on. With tensions already high between China and Russia, he hasn't exactly done himself any favours by not inviting the two of them to the summit. They have both reacted angrily. If anything, tensions between those two countries have been raised as a result of them not being invited to this summit.
Oh, Nick, part of this angry response we've seen online, criticism from certain quarters that democracy in the US itself is backsliding.
Well, that's it as well. There is this certain irony that people online have been pointing to, that other countries around the world have been pointing to, that the US is holding this summit on democracy at a time when US democracy is under threat. Within the course of the last year, we've had a former president who has refused to accept the presidential election result. We've had an assault on Capitol Hill, Trump supporters trying to overturn that election. It's something that President Biden acknowledged. He said that American democracy is an ongoing struggle, that we have to renew it with each generation. But there is that fear that going into the new year with the midterm elections in November, these are issues that will continue to dog the United States. There is already an erosion of voting rights for minority groups across the United States. Some people think that that will only worsen in the coming year. So yes, the US is trying to talk about democracy on a global stage, but many people are saying, look at yourselves, look at the problems that you're facing within the country. It's something that Biden is trying to address, but it does put him in a slightly awkward position when he's calling this global democracy summit when he has his own problems here at home in the US.
Oh, thanks for that, Nick. Nick Harper there in Washington, D.C.